Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Harris, and I'm the Frank B. Miller Director of ILR Undergraduate Student Services. We're glad you can be here with us for this live Zoom event. I'd like to make everyone aware that the chat function is enabled on the Zoom platform so that you can write words of congratulations and encouragement to recipients of awards. You can find the chat function at the bottom of the Zoom window, and beside it, you can also find live captioning as well. This evening's event is a celebration of faculty, student, and staff excellence in teaching, research, mentoring, campus, and community service. The idea was first conceived of by Jim McPherson, for whom this event is named. Jim was an assistant dean and director of the Office of Student Services from 1983 until his death in 2002. It was Jim's vision that shaped this program into the recognition event it has become. Dean Alex Colvin, Associate Dean George Boyer, Assistant Dean Carol Lombardi, and I are delighted to carry on the tradition. We hope Jim's wife, Carolyn, and their daughter, Andrea Kiley, and her husband, Richard Kiley, both Cornell colleagues of ours, are watching this evening. There were 2 ILR student recipients of the James E. McPherson Scholarship this year, and thanks to the generous support of Jim's family and friends, those students are Nicole Estes and Terrell Malone. Many of tonight's awards would not be possible without the generous support of the school's alumni and friends. Associate Dean Boyer and I would also like to thank the students, faculty, and staff who wrote nominations and letters of support for award recipients. A very special thanks goes to my Office of Student Services colleague, Rebecca Scimenti, for all of her work in making the event possible tonight. And we would also like to thank faculty members of the Teaching Advisory Committee, as well as Office of Student Services and ILR Student Experience Team colleagues for their work in helping make this event possible. It is now my pleasure to turn the program over to the ILR School Dean, Alex Colvin, for some remarks.
Great, thank you, Kevin. And it's a real pleasure to join everyone tonight. This has been a very unusual year, as we all know. When we first held this event over Zoom a year ago, I'm sure we all hoped that this would be a one-off, that we would be back in person again for the McPherson dinner, where we'd all be in person sharing the celebration with the award winners. However, the reality is that it has been a long, tough year, and although the end of the pandemic is getting closer in sight, we're not out of the woods yet. We've all had to take many steps to keep our campus and our community safe. And one of those is to not do large in-person gatherings and instead use the tools of online meetings to get together for events like we are tonight. But we have been able to continue on our core educational programs this year. And thanks to the enormous efforts of our community and the application of rigorous science and our in-house expertise, with our wonderful veterinary college able to do testing at large scale, and the responsibility of our own students. We've had an academic year where most of our students have been able to study here on campus with us. Our faculty have been teaching, our students have been studying hard, and we at ILR have continued to be proud of their efforts and their accomplishments. Tonight, we celebrate our award winners, students who've achieved distinction in their studies, faculty members who've been excellent teachers and advisors. This is one of the proudest and happiest events in our annual calendar. We celebrate the results of all the efforts that have been put in over the past year. I want to take a moment to thank those who've helped our students reach these wonderful achievements, including the faculty who've had the pleasure of teaching them during their time here at ILR with us. And I want especially to thank our staff who provide excellent student services and advising to the students. This evening honors Jim McPherson, who was Assistant Dean and Director of Student Services back when I was a graduate student at ILR. For generations of students, he embodied our deep commitment to their education, wellness, and future success. His commitment to students is reflected in the professionalism and the hard work of our current student services staff members. They make a difference in the lives of our students in their time on campus and for years afterwards. I also want to thank the families and supporters of our students. One of the benefits of being able to do a Zoom event is that it allows us to connect with them for them to join us remotely for this event without having the challenges of coming to campus. They can join with us in the celebration of their students. They place a trust in us to educate the students that they send to Cornell, and we're committed to honoring that trust that they've placed in us. We also know the achievements of our students are built on the efforts of their families that raise them and support them as they go through their education. So if you're a student who's winning an award tonight, enjoy the award, but remember to make sure to thank your family and friends who helped you along the way getting there. Now, let's turn back to the main event of the evening, the celebration of our award winners. Kevin, turning back over to you.
Thank you very much, Dean Colvin, for those nice words. It's my really great pleasure in my role in the office to be able to present the student awards for this event every year. It's something I relish a lot. So I'll just share, as you've already heard, the students we recognize tonight are incredibly talented, dedicated, and hardworking. Our colleagues and partners throughout campus always refer to the amazing leadership of ILR undergraduates and their many contributions to the Cornell community. ILR may be one of the smaller colleges, as we all know, if we're associated with it, but our students stand out as some of the most engaged citizens in the university. That hasn't changed in many, many years that I've been around in student services. Now we can go on to our specific award winners, which is the highlight of the evening. The SUNY Chancellor's Award is the first award we'd like to highlight. It's a SUNY Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence. It awards excellence for system-wide things conferred to acknowledge and provide recognition for consistently superior professional achievement and to encourage the ongoing pursuit of excellence. This award underscores SUNY's commitment to sustaining intellectual vibrancy, advancing the boundaries of knowledge, and serving the public good. This year's award recipient, Terrell Malone, has served the ILR Cornell community well. He will receive a certificate and medallion from SUNY for this award. It's a great honor, so we congratulate you, Terrell. Next, we'd like to recognize the ILR Merrill Presidential Scholars this evening. Merrill Presidential Scholars are identified as having demonstrated academic excellence, leadership, community involvement, and the potential for continued contributions to society. ILR's 2021 Merrill Presidential Scholars are Tyler Rodriguez, Leah Rosner, and Terrell Malone. We congratulate all of you on that tremendous honor. Next award we'd like to present is the David B. Lipsky Award for Conflict Resolution, Impact, and Excellence. This award was established to honor Professor Lipsky's many contributions to conflict resolution research, teaching, and outreach over the course of his 50-year career at the ILR School. The award is supported by the Scheinman Institute on Conflict Resolution, and it recognizes ILR students who have made exceptional contributions to the study and/or practice of conflict resolution. Contributions can include research papers, honors theses, master's theses, and dissertations focusing on important questions related to the resolution of conflict. They can also include involvement in Cornell campus activities that promote and advance the diffusion of conflict resolution practices, principles, and skills. Finally, students can also be recognized for demonstrated conflict resolution excellence during off-campus activities such as credit internships and exchange programs. There are 3 recipients of this award. One of the recipients is Catherine Wang. Congratulations, Kat. Another recipient of the award is Michael Mayambala. Congratulations to you, Michael. And Michael, I particularly, as a lifelong ice skater and hockey player, really enjoy your favorite extracurricular achievement. That is certainly an achievement if you just learned how to skate. So that caught my eye, and I appreciate that. And the third recipient of the award is David Navade. Congratulations, David. Congratulations, Michael and Kat. Next up is our Eric Lawrence Ehrenberg Memorial Prize. The Eric Lawrence Ehrenberg was a junior in Cornell's College of Arts and Sciences and captain of the Cornell men's volleyball team when he developed a serious health issue during the 1990-91 academic year. He spent a year going through multiple surgeries, and treatment and returned to Cornell after missing a full year of school. Excuse me. In spite of these challenges, Eric graduated from Cornell magna cum laude in 1993 and went on to earn a law degree from Georgetown University in May of 1996. Despite the many challenges he faced, Eric maintained an optimistic attitude and an extraordinary sense of humor throughout his life. The Eric Lawrence Ehrenberg Memorial Prize, established by his family and other donors, is awarded to a graduating ILR senior who has overcome challenges and excelled while at Cornell. Kirsten Horn is this year's recipient of the award. Kirsten faced significant health challenges during her time at Cornell and as an ILR student. She persevered and overcame them in order to become successful and meet her academic and personal goals. We are glad that was the case for you, Kirsten, and we congratulate you as the recipient of this award. Our next award, and bear with me, as this is a prior colleague of mine who I was very close with, so bear with me if I get a bit emotional. Appreciate that from all of you. The Virginia Freeman Memorial Prize was established in 2015 by friends, family members, and colleagues in recognition of Ginny Freeman's contributions to the ILR school as its longtime registrar. Ginny's institutional memory guided many of us in our careers. The award has been made possible by the generosity of ILR alum Dave Price, and it is presented to an ILR senior who displays the qualities of selflessness, responsibility, integrity, and one who has positively contributed to the ILR school and greater community. Nicole Estes is this year's award recipient. Congratulations to you, Nicole. We celebrate with you. Our next student award is the presentation of the Daniel J. Alpern Award. Each spring semester, ILR seniors in the top 20% of their class are invited to be considered for a number of awards. The Daniel J. Alpern Award is selected in recognition of a student's scholarship, their leadership and service to the school. The Alpern Award has 2 recipients this year. One recipient is Catherine Wine. Congratulations to you, Kat. The second recipient is Sarah Rim, and congratulations to you, Sarah. Our next student award is the James Campbell Award. And this award is given to a senior who best represents the qualities of academic excellence and personal qualities of humility, friendliness, and service to the school. This year's award recipient is Tyler Rodriguez. Congratulations on being the recipient of this award, Tyler. The Irving M. Ives Award is the next award given to a senior annually who best demonstrates the academic excellence, qualities of good faith, integrity, responsibility, cooperativeness, and goodwill. The 2021 Ives Senior Award recipient this year is Terrell Malone. Congratulations, Terrell. Next up is the Seidman Prize. It was established in the memory of Joel Seidman and is awarded to an undergraduate and graduate student whose papers in collective bargaining, labor history, labor law, union administration, or arbitration are recognized by faculty to be exceptional works. The 2021 Undergraduate Seidman Prize awardee is Ariel Clement. Ariel's nominator, Professor Risa Lieberwitz, stated this about her thesis. Through its theoretical and empirical analysis, the thesis makes significant contributions to the research and literature on racism in US police departments. The thesis presents a well-conceptualized, thoroughly researched, and well-supported analysis of the systemic nature of racism in policing and the inadequacy of reforms that will provide only superficial responses to address embedded racism. The thesis goes further to make recommendations for the sorts of reforms that will hold greater potential for deeper structural change. While a full analysis of such reforms is beyond the scope of the thesis, the discussion of more effective reforms provides insight into the difference between systemic change and reforms that will leave the systemic status quo in place. Very high praise. Sounds like an awesome project. Congratulations, Ariel. The 2021 Graduate Student Seidman Prize awardee is Matt Fisher Daly. Matt was nominated based on his master's thesis and his doctoral dissertation. His nominators, Professors Harry Katz and Sarosh Kuruvilla, stated this about his research papers. The master's thesis breaks new theoretical ground and traces how farm workers come to see collective action as a means to address poor work conditions on the basis of moral claims. It is extremely well written and expertly researched. While much has been written about the different power resources used by workers, very few have looked at the relationship between those resources. Matt is the first to show that success can be achieved by even the most precarious workers through utilizing the correct sequence of power resources. This has significant implications for several debates regarding union revitalization. Another comment is that in his dissertation, he compares worker strategies in the strawberry industries in the US and Europe, finding divergent outcomes. The explanations for the differences are much more nuanced, and the underlying argument is that labor's tangible progress derives from recognition of their capacity to participate in the rules to which they are subjected. The finding that precarious workers can still find ways to achieve dignity is a valuable contribution. Again, very impressive words and high praise. Congratulations to you, Matt. The next award up is the John O'Donnell Prize for Achievement in Labor and Employment Law. Each year, faculty who have taught the core labor and employment law course in the ILR curriculum are asked to nominate students whose papers are deemed to be exceptional. This year's recipient of the John O'Donnell Prize in Labor Law was nominated by Professor Risa Leibowitz, and that student is Madison Kang. Madison, that's a tremendous honor. Congratulations to you. Our next student award is the Stephen Spencer Memorial Award. It is given to a rising senior or current senior who has demonstrated substantial interest in the field of employee benefits, such as retirement and health and welfare benefits, compensation and collective bargaining through internships, work experience, and/or academic studies, and one who exemplifies the qualities and principles that guided Steve's professional and personal life. Those being integrity, selflessness, willingness to help colleagues and the community, a sharp wit and a sense of humor, and dedication to the mission and principles of the ILR school. This year's recipient of the Stephen Spencer Memorial Award is Jessica Sprague. Congratulations to you on your selection for that, Jessica. We celebrate with you. Next up, we'd like to recognize that there are two ways to graduate with distinction from the ILR school for students. Graduation with honors from the ILR school requires that a student initially qualify for the program with a 3.7 GPA and the development of a year-long research project, which culminates in the writing of a major paper. It is a significant academic endeavor that students must put great effort into and that they must successfully defend once their written work is completed. It has been a very strong year for this academic pursuit, with 25 students in the senior class in a position to successfully complete the honors thesis, thereby graduating with honors. That's a tremendous accomplishment in this challenging year. Independent research of this kind cannot be accomplished without strong faculty supervision and mentorship. So congratulations to all the candidates for graduation with honors and their faculty supervisors, both the first and second readers. Another way to graduate with distinction from the ILR school is by completing the Global Scholars Program. The Global Scholars Program requires students to incorporate a significant global, international, and academic component and experiences into their ILR education, and recognizes those students who can meet all that criteria successfully. It's a tough pursuit to accomplish and definitely something to be very proud of. Tonight, we recognize 7 global scholars, and we congratulate all the students that are listed on our slide for accomplishment of earning the Global Scholars distinction. Want to thank you all and for hanging with us as we go through the student awards. Congratulations to everyone again. This concludes the student award presentation, and it's now my pleasure to turn the program over to Associate Dean Boyer, who will present the 2021 ILR Teaching and Staff Mentoring Awards. Wishing you all a good evening.
I'm sorry, Professor Boyer, you're on mute.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I've put myself on mute. Many of you have wished you could have done that at various times. The members of the Teaching Advisory Committee who have selected the recipients of this evening's teaching awards based on student nominations and supporting letters are drawn from members of the ILR faculty who care deeply about teaching and are willing to commit time for its continuing development. They are, besides myself, Ariel Avgar, Brad Bell, Robert Hutchins, Carol Lombardi, and Marty Wells. The awards I am presenting were initiated by students who have taken the time to write nominating and supporting letters. I was surprised at how many letters we received and pleased by how many of the letters thank those nominated for what they have done to make this academic year as close to normal as possible. I want to recognize not just the winners, but all the nominees, and indeed all those faculty and staff who were not nominated for what they've done this year for our students and for continuing to promote excellence in teaching at ILR in the midst of a pandemic. Thank you. I also want to take a moment to remember Professor Emeritus Robert Aronson, who passed away last week at the age of 104. Yes, I said that correctly, 104. Bob was born before America's entry into the First World War, before the Russian Revolution, and before Babe Ruth was traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees. He came to ILR in 1950, before even I was born, and was a teacher of and mentor to many of ILR's best-known alumni, including our own former dean, Dave Lipsky. Dean Lipsky writes that he so enjoyed Aronson's labor economics class that he decided to forego a law degree and pursue a PhD in economics at MIT, and adds, "It is no exaggeration to say that Bob changed my life dramatically." Bob Aronson was a kind man, a good teacher, an excellent mentor, and an excellent colleague, and our last link to the early days of ILR. We will all miss him. Jim McPherson always used to add last-minute items to the agenda of TAC meetings. He would call these over-the-transom items. Well, I have an over-the-transom item this evening. We learned this afternoon that ILR faculty and staff have won 4 SUNY Excellence Awards for 2020-21, and I want to just mention them here. Victoria Martinez Matsuda has won a SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Teaching. Vanessa Bonds has won a SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Scholarship and Creative Activities. Diane Burton has won a SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Faculty Service. And Chris Miller has won a SUNY Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Library Service. Congratulations to all of you. And now on to the awards. First is the McIntyre Award. In 1994, alumni established a fund to recognize excellence in undergraduate teaching and advising by ILR faculty members, named in honor of Emeritus Professor Duncan McIntyre. This year's winner of the McIntyre Award for Exemplary Teaching and Advising is Desiree Leclerc. Desiree received her JD in 2006 from the University of Texas School of Law. Before joining ILR, she worked as a legal officer at the ILO and as Director of Labor Affairs in the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. She is a member of the Department of Labor Relations Law and History, where she teaches international labor law and U.S. labor and employment law. Desiree's teaching philosophy focuses on cultivating critical thinking while combating classroom boredom. She uses hypothetical-based assignments, which require students to think critically by practicing both oral and written advocacy. She also uses Zoom to bring a diverse group of speakers to class, enabling students to learn through discussions of real-life examples. The student letters describe Desiree as an excellent teacher who is dedicated to making sure her students understand the material and makes the class captivating and engaging. One student praised her ability to take information that would normally be dense and hard to follow and make it digestible and interesting. Another described her as a positive and inclusive professor who inspires her students to participate in class. And her nominator added that class discussion forced us to push the boundaries of our understanding of international labor rights. Students also greatly appreciated the guest speakers who brought real-world experience into the classroom and connected the concepts covered in class to the applied world. The letters stress Desiree's commitment to her students and her willingness to meet with them outside of class. She encourages students to come to her office hours to discuss their career paths as well as course material. And it appears that her office hours are rather flexible, and by that I mean expandable. In the words of one, Professor Leclerc continuously donates her time through many extensions of her office hours and discussions before and after class. Finally, another student writes, Professor Leclerc's kind words and support always pushed me in the right direction. I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity to work with her and learn from her. Desiree, the letters we have received make it clear that you are an excellent teacher, and it is a pleasure to present you with a McIntyre Award for exemplary teaching and advising. I should note that Desiree has only been here for a year, so this is a really amazing achievement. Thank you, Desiree. Our next award is the Robert N. Stern Award for Teaching and Mentoring. In 2005, the Teaching Advisory Committee established an award honoring faculty members who not only are excellent teachers, but also devote large amounts of time to mentoring students. The award is named after Robert Stern, who was a member of the IOR faculty from 1974 until his death in 2001, and was also a longtime member of the Teaching Advisory Committee. This year's winner of the Robert Stern Award for Teaching and Mentoring is John Haggerty. John received both his BS and PhD from the ILR School. Before coming to ILR, he served 21 years at General Electric, where he was a vice president of human resources. John is a senior lecturer in the Human Resource Studies Department and teaches courses on strategy and finance for HR and organizational consulting. In his teaching, John strives to close the research practice gap in human resource management. While he focuses on the academic material, he tries hard to balance it with the contextual information from the perspective of successful practitioners. He also enjoys building personal relationships with students and helping them develop strategies to be successful job candidates and to have fulfilling careers. John's nominator writes that his passionate and meticulous teaching style, his application of practice in the workplace, and his commitment to students all make him an exceptional teacher. His students greatly appreciate John's ability to tie academic theories to the real world. One writes, Professor Haggerty creates an environment where rigorous analysis and practical application of theories is not only encouraged and supported, but expected. And another adds, his ability to help his students understand the implications of HR is critical in bestowing the practical knowledge necessary to have a seat at the table. The letter writers describe John as an outstanding mentor who deeply cares about his students and devotes large amounts of time helping them find internships and jobs. His nominator writes that John has become a mentor to me and many other students in my cohort. And another adds, John is one of the first professors I and many others turn to for advice when navigating our careers, and he is always available. And finally, another writes, John has had an immeasurable impact on my success. He is always willing to take the time to have a conversation, and I consistently leave feeling reassured, encouraged, and much more informed and prepared than before our conversation began. John, it is clear that you make a difference in the lives of your students. I'm very pleased to present you with a Stern Award for teaching and mentoring. I have written a haiku for John, and it goes as follows. For those of you who have never been here before, I do this often, and this year is just like all previous years. Since you're all muted, I can't get any reaction out of you from my haiku. It turns out that when I get them in person, the same thing happens, but these things can't be helped. John at ILR, undergrad, grad student, prof, a true triple threat. Yes, I can see all the whatevers. Our next award is the General Mills Award for Exemplary Graduate Teaching. Some years ago, and we don't know how many, because General Mills has been gone for a long time. Some years ago, General Mills established an award recognizing excellence in the teaching of graduate students. The winners of this year's General Mills Award for Exemplary Graduate Teaching are Rosemary Bott and Courtney McClooney. Rose Bott received her PhD from MIT's Sloan School of Management. She is a professor of human resource studies and international and comparative labor, where she teaches globalization and human resource strategies, also globalization and financialization at work, and work, labor, and capital in the global economy. Rose writes that she enjoys teaching MILRs because they represent many different perspectives and bring to class discussion their relevant work experiences from very diverse industries and occupations. They are open to new ideas, which enables her to create what she calls a collective learning lab, where all students can feel safe to try on ideas, share them, and see where they go. The letters we received from both graduate and undergraduate students describe Rose as passionate, knowledgeable, and inspiring. One student who described globalization and HR strategy as the best class I've ever taken, this was a graduate student, so this involves a number of years, writes, Professor Bott's lectures are incredibly compelling, and her assignments are challenging, but she makes sure students gain a wealth of knowledge upon completion of the course. Another writes, Professor Bott led every class in such a way that I always felt inspired and motivated to learn more. This student added that she benefited thoroughly from the level of academic rigor and critical thought Professor Bott expected from us. She held us to high standards and communicated exactly what those standards were and why those standards existed. Another student writes, not only was her class informative, her teaching style and emphasis on creating a learning lab for all students to share and feel comfortable in asking questions was wonderful and especially necessary for an all virtual course. Students also view Rose as a mentor and role model and thank her for showing genuine moral support and care for all her students' personal lives. Finally, her nominator writes that she felt incredibly lucky to have had Rose Bott as a teacher and added, every ILR student should take a course from her. Rose, thank you for all you do for our students. I am very pleased to present you with the General Mills Award for Exemplary Graduate Teaching. I also have a haiku for Rose. This is one that needs a wee bit of explanation for those of you who aren't baseball fans. In baseball stadiums throughout the country, one day a year is Bat Day. And on Bat Day, children typically under the age of 15 get a free baseball bat with the price of admission. It was something that I was always very excited about every year. So here is the haiku for Rose. Rosemary Bott Day. All students get a great class at no extra charge. The other winner of a General Mills Award for exemplary graduate teaching is Courtney McClooney. Courtney received her PhD in psychology from the University of Michigan. Before coming to ILR, she was a postdoctoral fellow at UVA's Darden Graduate School of Business. She is a member of the Organizational Behavior Department, where she teaches courses on advancing racial equity in organizations. Courtney writes that her goal in teaching about racial equity is to create a brave space so that the class can engage in meaningful, well-informed dialogue. She informs students up front that course material and activities will address difficult, uncomfortable, and complex topics, but that she has tried to structure the course in a way to make students comfortable, but at the same time to challenge them to expand their thinking by being active participants in their own learning. Courtney's students thank her for creating a welcoming classroom environment and doing an excellent job encouraging participation and collaborative discussion of difficult subjects. Her nominator writes that Courtney's Advancing Racial Equity course pushes me every single day to think in ways that I never have before. Professor McClooney makes each and every class impactful and unique. Another writes that every student in the class seems genuinely engaged and invested every day, and adds, Professor McClooney helps us navigate conversations on race and labor so seamlessly. She is encouraging, but also challenges us to think critically and from new perspectives. And another student writes, Professor McClooney made sure from day one that every student felt comfortable and understood that the classroom is a safe space. She has allowed every student to speak and participate and made us all feel that our points are valid. Several students commented on the impact that Professor McClooney and her course have had on them, on both a professional and a personal level. Her nominator writes, Professor McClooney has given me an extreme passion for diversity and inclusion efforts, and has also made me a more empathetic leader. Another writes that Advancing Racial Equity is the best class I have ever taken. I am learning tangible skills that will help me to make a real impact on the world of work. And another concludes, advancing racial equity should be required for all students. If we could clone Courtney and have her teach enormous numbers of courses each year, we could do that. Courtney, it is clear from the letters we received that you are making a difference in the lives of ILR students. I am very pleased to present you with the General Mills Award for Exemplary Graduate Teaching. And here I have written a haiku for both Courtney and Desiree, because Courtney, as well as Desiree, has been here a very short time and is already making an impact. And it goes as follows. Like all great teachers, Courtney and Desiree have pupils in their eyes. Okay, on to the Staff Mentoring Award. Last year, the Teaching Advisory Committee established a new award honoring staff members who have made a positive impact on students through mentoring, advising, providing guidance, encouragement, an empathetic ear, or overall support. There are two winners of this year's Staff Mentoring Award, Christy Avgar and Jesse Mencia. Christy Avgar is the Director of Graduate Enrollment and Student Services in the ILR Graduate Office. She writes that she seeks to create an environment in which students feel heard, validated, and respected, while also focusing on their overall well-being, both in and outside of the classroom. She strives to help empower students with the tools they need to be successful at ILR, and she is committed to fostering a strong sense of community and belonging across graduate student cohorts. The student letters describe Christy as a phenomenal resource, a constant source of encouragement and guidance, and integral to the success of the MIOR program. One of her nominators thanks Christy for her immeasurable advising contribution to the MIOR community and adds that she consistently goes out of her way to help her students. Her other nominator agrees and thanks Christy for all she did to make the transition to online teaching easier by constantly updating students on changes being made in response to COVID and holding office hours on weekends during registration to help students plan for online semesters. This student concludes, COVID has only made it even more clear the commitment that Christy makes to all of us graduate students. Students thank Christy for her kindness and her concern for their well-being. One writes, Christy gives individual attention to each student by remembering thoughtful personal details and is genuinely concerned with helping us to make the most of our time here at Cornell. Another adds, Christy cares deeply for students' well-being and will do whatever it takes to make sure a student has the resources they need to succeed. And finally, another writes, Christy is key to the warm and caring MIOR culture that attracted so many of our students to begin with. Christy, thank you for all you've done for our graduate students. It's a pleasure to present you with a Staff Mentoring Award. Jessie Mancia is our other winner. Jessie is the Associate Director for Multicultural Affairs in ILR's Office of Student Services. Besides course advising, Jessie is also the advisor to MALARSO, the Multicultural Affairs Liaison to Hispanohablante, and ILR's College Associate to the Pre-Freshman Summer Program. He's also an important person on our Diversity and Inclusion Council. Jessie's philosophy of advising and mentoring is student-centered with a holistic approach. He strives to have all students feel comfortable to meet with him for any issue, academic or non-academic. Because his relationship with each advisee is unique, he has dialogues with them to get to know who they are, what experiences they have lived through, and what drives their goals. This information enables him to determine what guidance each student needs. The students thank Jessie for his helpfulness, kindness, patience, and commitment. One of his nominators writes that when she arrived at Cornell, she was constantly stressed and doubting herself. But her meetings with Jessie helped her to overcome her doubts. She adds, my college experience would not have been the same without Jessie. He has helped me create my schedule every semester, share job opportunities, and always provided me with positive encouragement. Another student writes that she came to Cornell worried that I would not be able to take on the challenges that Cornell had in store. Had it not been for Jessie's commitment to truly helping students thrive in this new environment, I would not have been able to acclimate as well as I did. Jessie was there for whatever I needed. And another writes that Jessie made the transition to Cornell as a freshman during COVID so much less scary just by his general demeanor. Several students wrote of how understanding and kind Jessie is. In the words of one, Jessie is always there for students when they need him. He understood things from my perspective. He put my mind at ease, and I always knew I could turn to him for help. And another writes, whenever I have a problem, I know I can turn to Jessie. He always knows how to make me and others feel better when something's wrong. Jessie, thank you so much for playing a major role in helping our students to succeed. It is a pleasure to present you with a Staff Mentoring Award. And I have a haiku for Christy and Jessie. Christy and Jessie, ILR problem solvers. always save the day. And now moving on to the Engaged Learning Teaching Awards. The ILR Engaged Learning Teaching Award was established last year and is designed to recognize and celebrate ILR faculty and staff who contribute to our students' educational experience through meaningful opportunities to gain knowledge outside the classroom. ILR is unique in the breadth of experiences provided through our outreach division, international programs, and a variety of other engaged learning opportunities. The winners of this year's awards are LaWanda Cook, Katrina Nobles, and Matthew Saleh. LaWanda Cook is a senior extension associate at the Yang Tan Institute on Employment and Disability. In addition to her outreach work, Dr. Cook has provided students with a wealth of curricular and student engagement opportunities in the disability studies domain, which increasingly looks to blend student service learning experiences with projects focused on building and sustaining community partnerships. Dr. Cook has been teaching in the disability studies sequence since the fall of 2015 and has taught or co-taught a variety of courses, including Introduction to Disability Studies and Intersectionality in Disability Studies. She has also supported multiple students as an internship supervisor, advisor for Summer Dean's Fellows, and student thesis projects. Dr. Cook finds ways to include mentees on some of her large-scale projects, affording them an invaluable opportunity to gain additional real-world experience. As stated by one of her nominators, Dr. Cook is passionate about incorporating intersectional lenses in the existing disability studies curriculum at Cornell. Another nominator states, LaWanda's expertise as a practitioner and researcher is boundless, and she brings that focused expertise into the classroom at every moment, which allows students to connect substantively and meaningfully with her knowledge. LaWanda lectures both confidently and accessibly, and deftly guides discussion, ensuring that multiple and diverse viewpoints are encouraged, heard, and affirmed. They go on to note that LaWanda Cook is an exemplary pedagogue and practitioner. She leads, inspires, and cultivates truly transformative opportunities for learning inside and outside of the classroom. I cannot think of anyone more deserving. LaWanda, you have had a significant impact on our students, and your commitment to their learning through your engaged teaching is greatly appreciated. It's my pleasure to present you with ILR's Engaged Learning Teaching Award. Our second award winner is Katrina Nobles. Katrina Nobles is an extension associate in the Scheinman Institute and has played a central role in the development of engaged learning opportunities in the conflict resolution area. She has taught or co-taught a variety of ILR courses that provide students with an opportunity to engage firsthand in different conflict resolution processes, including mediation and arbitration. Of note, Ms. Nobles was instrumental in developing and launching ILR's 2 campus mediation practicum courses that include students' active involvement in mediating campus disputes in partnership with Cornell's Office of the Judicial Administrator. Ms. Nobles teaches students the art of mediation, as well as the theories of conflict and its resolution. She also supervises ILR Summer Research Fellows who want to continue to explore alternative dispute resolution. She has facilitated in-depth interaction with leading arbitrators, mediators, and advocates and other dispute resolution practitioners, further enhancing student learning. One of her nominators for this award notes that the combined process of engaged learning and practice demonstrated by the Cornell campus mediation program has had a far-reaching impact on the student mediators, the students who take part in the mediation and the campus culture in general. Another nominator comments on the transformative effects that this experience has had on students and the way in which they think about their career trajectory. A student who participated in Ms. Noble's mediation practicum notes that truly distinctive from any other ILR class I have taken, this practicum allowed me to practice the skills I've learned in my conflict resolution classes, and I felt supported by Ms. Nobles throughout the process. This student concludes her letter by stating, my interactions with Professor Nobles have truly inspired me to further explore the realm of conflict resolution, both academically and professionally. Katrina, it gives me great pleasure to recognize your substantial contributions to the ILR community through your engaged learning conflict resolution courses and learning opportunities through your engaged conflict resolution courses and learning opportunities by presenting you with the ILR Engaged Learning Teaching Award. Thank you. And the third winner of an Engaged Learning Teaching Award is Matthew Saleh. Matthew is a research associate at the Yang Tan Institute on Employment and Disability. In addition to his outreach research, Dr. Saleh has been central to the ILR Disability Studies sequence since 2018. He has taught or co-taught a number of disability-related courses, including disability law, disability and employment policy, and global comparative disability policy. Together with Dr. Cook, Dr. Saleh received a recent Cornell Engaged Learning Grant for the project titled Pro Se, Empowering Justice-Involved Youth and Young Adults with Disabilities through Speech and Debate Training. In addition to his engaged teaching, Dr. Saleh supports multiple students as an internship supervisor, advisor for summer dean's fellows, and student thesis projects. Matt also serves as the advisor to the Cornell Undergraduate Mock Trial Association, the Zing Guns Down, Mics Up open mic events for people with disabilities stemming from gun violence in partnership with Open Doors NYC, and for 3 undergraduate lay law scholars in connection with his 2 engaged Cornell grants. One of Dr. Saleh's nominators for this award states that he has a keen understanding of relevant theories and is gifted in his ability to help students see how problematic theories play out in everyday life. Through his exceptional teaching, supervision, and mentorship, Matt exemplifies meaningful engagement with and by Cornell students and community members. A student supervised by Dr. Saleh notes, working with Dr. Saleh in the summer of 2020 was an incredible privilege for me. I believe his mentorship was unique in how it made me feel supported and respected in the midst of a pandemic. Through a very hands-on approach to learning that allowed me to connect with others' real lived experiences, he enabled me to fully realize my passion for social science research and truly love the entire process. Matthew, it gives great pleasure to present the ILR Engaged Learning Teaching Award to you in recognition of your significant contributions to our students through teaching in the disabilities studies area. Thank you very much. In the mid-1990s, Jim McPherson set up the Teaching Advisory Committee, and Jim and the committee took on the task of improving the culture of teaching at the ILR school. Anyone who reads the letters we received this year honoring our winners and all the other faculty and staff who were nominated for awards will know that we are succeeding in our quest. Jim would be proud of it. Thank you, Christy, Courtney, Desiree, Jesse, John, Katrina, LaWanda, Matthew, and Rose for making a difference in the lives of ILR students, both undergraduate and graduate. Let's give them a round of virtual applause for their dedication to teaching and to their students. I should say one last thing here before letting you go, and that's that many years we get lots of letters from undergraduate students nominating and supporting nominees for awards. This year, we also got a very large number of letters from graduate students, in particular from MILR students. I think this is wonderful, and I hope it continues. This concludes this evening's presentation. Thank you all for attending, and congratulations to all the student, faculty, and staff award winners. Be well. For those of you who are seniors, stay in touch. Good evening. Thanks for attending.